Hi, this is Eric Martinez with New Mexico Biz Talk, and today we will be talking to Realtor Jennifer Pendergrass, and she will be educating us about the real estate industry here in New Mexico.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Good. Again, Jennifer. So a little bit about real estate for me is I started about 13 years ago with property management.
Okay.
And I became in sales a little bit over 6 years ago. And it has been great. I feel like if you start with property management, you can kind of get to know all the different parts of real estate. Yeah.
So are you currently managing properties now, or
I
more
am.
on the real estate sales side?
I do property management with Santa Fe Realty Unlimited, and I also do the sales part. So I work with a lot of investors and also first-time home buyers. A lot of my tenants end up purchasing homes as well. And
Okay. So that's a natural progression, hopefully.
it is. It's kind of great and being able to see all my tenants be able to go to each different level and then
You help
finally
them.
be able to find their dream home.
So what does that look like if I'm a renter and I want to level up to the next? What are those requirements?
Well-
Where do we start?
Well, one of the things is always your credit score and debt. So I do have some mortgage brokers that can help you out with being able to meet the right criteria to be able to purchase home later on. And one of the great things with being your property manager is I'm also able to extend your lease or make it into a month-to-month lease. And then that way you can figure out when a good time is to buy for you.
So do you offer properties where the tenant can do a lease by option, or that's not
No,
okay? Got it.
definitely not. To be honest, to find a rent-to-own type of property is
They don't have those anymore.
no, that's really
Okay.
difficult. That seems to be a thing of the past.
Hey, where have I been? That's why we bring people like you on to educate us and help us, because I've never bought a home myself. So.
Oh, well, if you need a mortgage broker, I could definitely help you with that.
Okay, I'll let you know. So credit score, that's probably the first starting point.
Definitely your credit score is one of the first starting points. And then you will meet with a mortgage broker. And once we figure out what you're able to purchase a home for, let's say 300 to 500, then we'll go shopping. And that's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole thing is be able to show you homes. And it's always that moment when you walk into a home and you know it's going to be your forever home. I think that's one of the cutest moments with all my clients.
So when they're making the process and they talk to the mortgage lender, the mortgage lender will say what their down payment is and what that looks like?
So typically, there's multiple different types of mortgages out there. If you don't have the full 20%, you get a loan which is called an MFA loan, which is two different types of loans, or an FHA loan. And there's a lot of different types of grants out there for first-time home buyers when you don't have that full 20% to put down, which is a conventional loan. And then, of course, you have your investors, which you have to put 25% down.
So then once they get past that, then it's time to shop for a home.
Yes, then
And how do you jump into that?
Well, I get
Where does that
notified by the mortgage broker. Usually I stay in communication with them the entire process of being able to do your loan application. And then once you get your pre-approval, then they contact me and give me a letter. And then I shop around and I show you all the different homes that we have on the market. And when I do that, you actually have a program where you can heart things and put thumbs down on things that you don't like and put little notes if you have questions about the yard or, the age of the home, if anything's been upgraded. So you can give me all those notes and I can do all the research for you.
Oh, so that makes it easy so that the client isn't going all these, you kind of pre-shop for them.
It is a pre-shopping, and then that way if you have questions about each thing and you decide you don't want to see the property anymore, it's kind of, so you don't have to waste your time on homes that you're kind of iffy about anyway.
So yeah, the internet has made it really easy for the consumer and the realtor, the sales agent.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really great tool to have at your hands, and then that way you don't have to. A lot of people also seem to like to go neighborhood to neighborhood on their own to discuss with their partners, and they don't feel so pressured. And so
Open
that's-
houses?
And open houses. I do love to do open houses. I think that's another area that I get a lot of my clients from, is doing open houses and having people come in and tell me what they're looking for. And
Because
That's
it
great.
seems like on weekends, that's when people, they're off from work, they want to go out and
yeah,
see what's out there. Maybe not this neighborhood, but this other neighborhood.
absolutely. Or also people from out of state, if they're vacationing in, of course, like Santa Fe, they go to a few open houses, and that's the best place to meet a realtor and really get to know them person to person.
Wow, that sounds pretty straightforward. And does it always happen like that?
No.
So what happens?
Also, a lot of people just like to go to open houses because you like to look at pretty homes and get ideas for your current home. So
You gotta weed out.
Yeah, a
weed
lot of
through it.
times you have to weed out who's actually in the market and who isn't. And so that's a really great place. Or you can go onto our website to look at different homes, and you put all your information in there. And it's Santa Fe Realty Unlimited, and then you're able to get all of your information will come to one of the realtors at our office, like myself, and it's great.
And then once that process, I've selected a home, it's a go. Then what? You put a.
Oh, once we've selected a house, then I will write up an offer for you. We're going to talk about your pricing and pros and cons of the home, and then we'll write up an offer for you. I'll submit it to the listing broker. And then the next step is we'll have to get a counter offer back, or your offer could be accepted the
Green
first
light.
round. And then from that point, we'll do a full inspection. I have some great inspectors that will help you inspect your home to make sure, things are working properly.
No surprises.
No surprises. And, they don't always catch everything, but
Yeah.
a lot less surprises because I don't know electrical. Do you know electrical?
No, I don't.
Right. Or plumbing. I look at it, I'm
Or
like,
plumbing.
it looks great. But that's the purpose of having an inspector. And then that way we don't have any issues. And of course, in between that, you have your title people in the background, making sure that everything is going to be a clear title for you and making sure that things are working properly.
The transaction happens.
Yes, the whole transaction will go smoothly. So you do have a lot of people working for you in the background.
So then once that process, it's green lighted, the money's transferred and everything.
Yes.
Then if there's a family living in the home, they have 30 days to vacate? How does that work?
Yes, so usually when we go under contract, everybody knows of a closing date. Sometimes your closing date can be like 2 weeks if you're paying for the home in cash. Or if you have a loan, it could take between 30 to 45 days. And then once we have a closing date, the family will be ready to move before that date. And everybody will be fully prepared to move out.
Prepared, everybody.
Yeah, fully prepared to move out, and then you
Yeah.
get to move into your new home.
Okay. And then where does with your relationship with the purchaser, 5 years down the road, they say, hey, we want to buy another home, or...
That's happened, and usually I like to keep my relationships going in between that as
Yeah.
well, especially for people that have moved out of state. They don't know any electricians or plumbers or, typical contractor because they want to do an addition. So we like to stay in contact as much as possible, so
Or
that
if
way I
they're-
can help throughout the years as well.
Or if they're from out of town and they're learning New Mexico or Santa Fe.
Exactly. When you're new to town, you don't know anybody to be able to help all those different items. And
So it's an adjustment phase.
it is.
Kind of transitional.
And, yeah, try to be here as much as I can be for all my clients, even after closing.
Wow, it sounds like a really good process. That's something that you're very comfortable doing pretty regularly with your clients.
Yeah. I've been doing it for over 6 years on the sales part, and like I said, property management, about 13 years before that. So I've loved it. I feel like most of the time I'm not working anymore. I get to socialize for a living and go shopping. It's kind of everybody's dream.
I was going to ask you, what are the current trends? We're in the first quarter of 23, and
Right.
can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, one of the things I think I was really worried because everyone said with the interest rates going up, nobody's going to buy anymore, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. No matter
People are still purchasing.
yeah, no matter what the trends are or what's happening with interest rates, people are still needing to buy homes, and people are still ready to buy, and I don't ever see that going away. And more people are starting to put their houses on the market, so there's more inventory out there now. Like last year, I feel like there was less inventory and too many buyers, and now we're kind of switching back to the buyer side where we have more inventory and.
So
great for those buyers.
maybe a word of advice would be for people not to listen too much to the media, because I think they
Absolutely.
hype it up a lot and people get fear and
Yes, absolutely. I really
FOMO.
think, yeah,
fear of missing out.
yeah, I think that you should talk to a professional before you have all those fears.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And talk to your mortgage broker or realtor or somebody else. Don't listen to media as much, because that's definitely not the direction you should be going.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the problem is we listen too much to the media, and we don't need to
Okay.
do that. They need professionals like you that are going to onboard them with whatever that process, that whole entire process.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about Santa Fe Realty Unlimited.
We have locations both in Santa Fe and Albuquerque. I work throughout Santa Fe and Albuquerque, Los Alamos, and most of New Mexico. So I do travel a lot. It's kind of great. Meet different types of people when you're in Santa Fe versus Albuquerque.
So if I said, hey, I saw something in an Elephant Butte,
We
you
could
yeah?
go. I
Okay.
would absolutely take you down there.
Pull out the boat or something and have
Yes.
a little fun with it.
Would be able to make a weekend of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that idea. Well, so your website is fully functional. I looked at your website. All you do is fill out the fields, and then you put your criteria in there.
Yeah.
And submit, right? It
Yep,
just clicks over.
Yeah, it'll click right over to us, and we'll be able to help you with your property search and be able to help you find whatever you're looking for. Whether it's a condo or a single-family home or a cute little townhouse, we'll be able to find it.
And let's touch a little bit on property management. What is that? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Property management side, we have smaller homes, condos, and then I have a townhouse, and we have a few fourplexes.
Okay.
And it's kind of great because all of our prices have stayed the same. And in Santa Fe, we've had a lot of new builds for apartment complexes. And we are able to beat just about everybody's price for a single family home.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So if they're looking for a rental or an actual property, what about land? Do you work with land as
We
well?
do, yes, we work
Commercial?
with land. We do commercial land and we do residential land. It all depends on what you're looking for. In fact, I have one client, he's been looking for commercial space. He wants to do storage sheds.
Oh.
We haven't quite found the right place for him yet, but we're looking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I know in Santa Fe, there's not a lot of property anymore, or is there? Maybe
Actually,
now?
there's a lot of pieces of land
Oh, okay. Not
on
as
the
open.
outskirts and in town.
Okay.
It all depends on what you're looking for.
We'll see. That's how much I know. Well, tell us where to find. Do you post on social media?
Yes. We have our website, Santa Fe Realty Unlimited, and then you can look up my name out of Meeting the Team. And then also on Facebook, we could go look up Jen Pendergrass or Jen Santa Fe Realty Unlimited.
And we'll have all that information on the
perfect.
final edit with your social media buttons.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jennifer. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think that's about it.
Well,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much for having me.
Thank you so much. Well, that's it for today's segment of New Mexico Biz Talk. We thank you for joining us. Please join us again for the next segment.